the audience mic?
Oh, there, right.
Where? Oh, there it is. Okay, one microphone, okay. So we can't take Q&A. I'm going to start off with the first question. And it's very simple. Since many of you know that besides being the Count, I also did a little character called Captain 20 and Bozo, and did a bunch of kid shows here in Washington. And I was looking at the very inaccurate Wikipedia.
Sorry.
But you started very early in your career, and you worked in some kid shows. What was the first show?
The first TV show I did was at the Disney Club in the UK. So it would be lots of hanging out at the kids' club, playing pool and practicing dance routines in, luminous coloured clothing and eating loads of sugar.
Oh!
Perfectly charged. Yeah, but I think actually what's quite funny is the first thing I'd ever done professionally was commercials for Kool-Aid. I did loads of them when I was a kid.
Did you sing any jingles?
Yeah, I didn't sing any jingles. I did lots of dancing. I did lots of, and also for a cereal called Honeycomb.
Oh yes.
So actually, all of my earliest work was made in the UK, but for America. So I drank a lot of Kool-Aid.
You were a kid who grew up in one continuous sugar rush.
I know, and may that long continue, yeah. Perfect day for today. Happy Easter, by the way.
The Easter eggs are hidden around the room. No.
Let's get them out.
Well, we have a microphone here. We had the first question asked and answered. So, please, not play with the volunteers here so we don't have any, and I don't know if we should allow weeping angels, I don't know. Just don't blink.
I know, I've heard. I read Wikipedia. But it was accurate.
More or less. All right, let's start the first question then.
Hi, thanks for coming. Being here so early today. So when you worked on Doctor Who, you got the opportunity to spend a long time working. You said I think 7 months yesterday.
Yeah.
With
I
Chris
think it was longer. I was thinking that when I left, it was like 7 months. It's 9 months. Anyway.
With both Chris Eccleston and David Tennant, who were seasoned veteran actors. With each of them, was there something you were able to learn that made your acting experience better? With each of them, what did you pull from getting the opportunity to work with them that you felt helped you step up to the next level of your acting?
Well, I think both of them were just incredibly diligent. So they did a lot of work all the time, lots of nights in studying basically. And I think both of them have a fierce work ethic, and that didn't change from one to the other. One of the things that Chris Eccleston used to do is run a lot and eat lots of chicken. So I copied that. And it has fared well. And then David does this thing which I could never really be bothered to do, which is where he'd run really intensely, very fast on the spot before a take, all the time. Which I think is actually kind of energy you need to kind of summon before doing anything as the Doctor. So I would try and take those things on board. But mostly it was just watching their love for their work, I suppose.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
If you could time travel anywhere, where would you go and why?
If I could time travel anywhere, I suppose I'd go back to my childhood, because it's kind of what I know and it's the things I miss in life, and I'd love to go back and see what it was really like as opposed to through rose-tinted glasses, you know what I mean? I'm sure I'd be really happy with it, to be honest. Just to relive some of those moments, I think that would be really, or to spend more time with, relatives who are now not here, stuff like that. I suppose it would be more of an emotional quest for me than, something, I don't know, more historical. Having said that, that would be fun as well. Just ditch the relatives and go somewhere like that. That sounds cold. I'll go with the relatives.
Can you imagine running in and talking to yourself?
Oh. Yeah, there you go, you see? Yeah, she got us.
Spot it.
She got us.
I didn't learn my lines, I wrote it down.
Okay.
When you portrayed Rose Tyler, you became a part of the Doctor Who family, and we love you.
Oh.
What's your favorite thing about being a part of this show and its 50 years of fandom?
What's my most...
What's your favorite thing about being part of show, of Doctor Who, and the whole fandom experience?
Well, I suppose in a way it is that. It's very much about being part of something that is, it has such a loyal and intense fan base. And I've never known anything like it since, and I doubt I ever will. And it means that whatever you've done, whatever David's done, whatever game music can be enjoyed for a long time in a really kind of passionate way, and that's really rewarding as an actor. So I suppose that is a massive appeal, even though when I got into it, those weren't the reasons I was doing it at all. This has come as a result of being part of it, and it's lovely. Thank you, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering if there was a specific event, like the moon landing or even the Roman era, that you wish you had gotten to do an episode on while you were on Doctor Who?
Oh God, brain. Are we talking about episodes that have happened, or just things, or great moments in history?
Either one of those.
Moon landing would have been amazing. That would have been something quite spectacular. And then maybe like Woodstock. That would have been awesome.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hey.
This probably won't come as much of a surprise to you, and I hope it doesn't, but you're in America.
Yes. Yes.
I was wondering, is there like any difference between the British fans that you encounter and the American fans?
Not when it comes to Doctor Who. They're very much wired in the same way. And thank God, it's the love and the passion is not lost in translation. It's something that continues around the world. So I always feel like I know what I'm going to enter into, and I'm always, surprised that the love continues, So, yeah. No, I think anyone who likes Doctor Who just really likes it. And that doesn't change anywhere. Thank you. That's a really good question. That's great. Hi.
So one of my friends and I were friends before we knew we watched Doctor Who. And
Yeah.
part of the reason we became even better friends was because we realized how much we both admired Rose and how inspiring she was to us. And I was just wondering, did you know how inspiring she would be to an audience, because she's an ordinary girl who can save the world and save the Doctor and everything?
I didn't know that, no, thank God, otherwise that would have been an enormous responsibility. I think it's really good to go into these things and these roles, without knowing what's going to happen on the other side, because I think that then informs how you play things, and that's kind of considered and not necessary. And to be honest, I didn't write it, Russell wrote it. He gave me all the tools, and I just brought what I knew about young girls growing up in that way. I mean, not that way, because that's extraordinary, but growing up with single mothers and on estates, and that feeling of not knowing where your life is going to end up and how it's going to pan out, and not feeling like what you want to do with yourself. It was given to me on a plate, really, but it was a gift. Thank you.
Hi, I was wondering what sort of character development you took yourself that like Russell actually added into like episode material.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I think maybe you mean things that happened as a result of getting to know
Like
me.
that,
and
like as you're
using
developing your character, the stuff that you actually came up with.
with
your writers.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess my absolute like appetite for curiosity and thrill seeking was something that I hope I brought to it, and you know that kind of that fearless element of just going off with some guy who says he knows about, you know, I mean, it could be very strange, but actually just that kind of curious mind is what I hope I was able to bring that wasn't maybe always there in the text, you know, but I think it probably was. I think everything I did is pretty unoriginal. It was decided.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to preface my question by saying thank you for doing what you do and for sharing your talent with all of us.
Thank you.
You are a joy to watch on screen, and please come to New York because Americans would love to see you on the stage as well.
I want to please so much. My biggest dream is actually to do a play in New York. I would love to do something to there. So I said it. So it's out there.
You wouldn't object if someone came up to you and offered you a starring role in a Broadway musical?
No. Musical. That is something slightly different. I think I'd rather. I don't know that I could handle doing a musical. It's incredibly hard work, terrifying. I would rather just do a straight play. Okay.
But my actual question.
Yes.
Sorry. It's okay. My actual question is: given your considerable experience with the many and varied aspects of the entertainment industry, music, theater, film, television, what words of advice would you have for your own children in the event that they decide they want to pursue careers similar to yours and Lawrence's?
Oh. I don't know. I really hope that I could be really open-minded about it, but I think I would just be terrified. And I don't actually think I try and steer them off track, because the thing about being artistic is if you're wired that way, there's very little you can do about it. Do you know what I mean? And the thought of stifling that in someone because I'm too scared of them feeling rejection or failure or heat would seem unfair, but my instinct would be to lock them away. I think actually in the end I'd really kind of support them and use everything I know about it to kind of back them up, but it would be incredibly stressful. So, they're not, actually my youngest son is actually showing signs of being a bit.
You feed him lots of sugar?
No, we don't. We're quite strict with the sugar. That's just, I take the sugar. It's too late for me now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, hi.
Okay. So, I got a few of my friends hooked on Doctor Who lately, and I watched Rose with them, and we were all really enjoying it. And they were talking to me the other day about how amazing they thought Rose was as a companion, so I wanted to thank you for getting my friends hooked on Doctor Who.
Yes, now you can all enjoy it together.
And I wanted to ask, what's it like to come to conventions like these and see people dressed up as you, and see a fan base that's huge, and people obsessing over everything you do?
Yeah.
Is that creepy at all?
This might make me sound really awful, but I don't find it creepy. I really, I think it's amazing that people, it means so much to people. And so I am always in awe of the dedication, really, and you don't see that often in life. You know that in all walks of life, and it's obviously it's a privilege. It's overwhelming for sure, but it's great that part, the part of the Doctor has affected people in that way, and it's emotional more than anything. It doesn't freak me out. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I know they were talking about doing a spin-off.
Are you April?
I am.
Yeah.
Channel 6 happy hour. I know they were talking about doing a Rose spin-off after Doomsday, and they scrapped it really early in the process. I just wanted to know if you knew about it. At least that's what I read on the internet.
I don't know about that. I have to say I do not know anything about that. I'm sure there was some kind of speculation because it's, I don't know. I don't know, unfortunately.
Would you have done it?
I think at that point in my career, probably not, because I felt like it ended in a way that it had to end, and I was really excited to do other things. And so in a way, I felt like my little path had kind of run its course for a while, and then obviously I came back like a trillion times afterwards. But I think at that time, I was ready to kind of go home and be in London and see my friends and not always talk about Doctor Who.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think this was one of those cases where Wikipedia struck again.
Yes, that's a very Wikipedia.
It wasn't Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Hi, thank you.
I was just wondering if you had any really good John Barrowman stories.
Listen, they're so sordid.
I understand since your morning.
He's just such a filth bag. As is what we all know. That's why we love him. Oh God, what can I say without so many children? Okay, how can I say this coded? He would really try and mess with you when you were doing your close-ups. However you want to interpret that. But a lot of it would involve trouser dropping escapades. I think I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Hi. What's a question or subject that you don't like to be asked about?
I don't really like it when people ask me about favourites. So, who's my favourite Doctor? Do I love kissing most? Even though, no offence to those people who've asked it, but it's hard because, especially David and Matt, I'm really good friends with. So, choosing between them is dicey. Do you know what I mean? And could affect our relationship. So as much as you think you're getting something, I could potentially be losing a friend. So I find those hard anyway in life. What's my favourite anything? Because I like a lot of things. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Billie. It's
Hey.
such a pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
It doesn't seem real that you're just sitting right in front of me. I swear I have a real question.
Okay.
My good friend Michael is your biggest fan, and he could not be here today.
Oh,
Could you just say hi, Michael?
Hi, Michael. Where are
He's
you?
literally going to cry.
Where is he?
Thank you so much. But my question is
Yeah.
that obviously you have a huge fan base, and I was just wondering how the fans on the East Coast have been treating you.
Oh, great. I've had no problems at all. It's been one lovely, warm spread every time I leave the door. So, yeah, it's been nothing but just loveliness. So I feel really blessed. Yeah.
We love you.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi, Billie. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
I am a huge fan ever since the show
show got rebooted, and I went on and watched a lot of your other work.
Yeah.
I love Secret Diary of a Call Girl. I'm
For
super
different reasons. Very different thing.
Yeah. But and I'm also really excited for Penny Dreadful.
I know. Yesterday, I signed my first piece of Penny Dreadful posters or merchandise or whatever. Not merchandise, but you know, my first thing. And that was really exciting.
Yeah, I keep on seeing posters all around because I live in New York, and I keep on seeing posters all over the place.
So cool.
So I'm like, yes. My question is, what you played so many like diverse roles. What would be like a role that you would personally like to take on?
I would love to play a mother now, because I am a mother, so I feel like I've got experience to bring to that. I would like to do that more and more, actually. I think that would be, I would love to work, I say I'd love to work with children, and then I'll be there on the day going, God! But yeah, I think now it would be great to move into the less, you know, sexy stuff and move more into the relaxed jeans and t-shirts, kind of, you know, raising a family roles. I would love that.
Well,
But there's no, that's not happening anytime soon.
Well, I also enjoyed your episode of True Love, too.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
I ended up trying to find it online and I found it. So.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, great, yeah.
But, yeah, it's really good. And as someone who's part of the LGBT community, like, it was really a good episode.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
really
Was it shown here? No.
No. Yes, thanks so much.
Thank you. Hello.
Ever since it's a Doctor, like my house has been like a religion of watching Doctor Who.
Oh.
If you didn't watch Doctor Who in my house, you can get out.
Oh yeah.
How was it working with like John Hurt and Matt Smith and David Tennant all in like one? Like,
It was, as you can imagine, it was brilliant because it's just mad to have them all there in front of you, going for the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And also, like that could have potentially been awkward, like to kind of watch them. You know, it could have been competitive actually, because they're bringing their own version of the Doctor, and you know, it's that was probably quite stressful for them in front of each other. But it was amazing to watch. It was like watching the best double act, first of all, with David and Matt, and then the injection of John Hurt was just like, I mean, I wish, in a way, that would have been a great moment to invite loads of fans, because, I mean, that would have ruined the surprise of the 50th, but, I mean, it almost needed a live audience, that, because it was very theatrical and it was very exciting. I'm so, like, genuinely blessed to be able to watch that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind me saying, I think that was one of my favorite bits of your work. I thought you really nailed it.
Hi. I wasn't nervous until I got about 3 people back.
I know. Horrible, isn't it?
You are my favorite companion.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that because you're here. And my question is, I'm not going to ask which is your favorite, but which aspects of the Doctor Who and Diary of a Call Girl people did you bring to the role? Like,
do you mean if they were if those characters were merging into other roles, or do you mean what did I bring of myself?
yes.
I guess there is a similar thing really in both of them. Is this sense of I go into things without thinking about them that much, and I think that sometimes that serves you well, and sometimes it's a disaster. But I think with those 2 roles, it was that if I'm thinking about similar things that I brought, but it's that feeling of just going in and going for it and being as fearless as I know how to. And I think both of those characters kind of have that as a similarity. Thank you.
Don't blink, yes. Everyone keep your eyes open.
Amazing.
Thank you. In your travels with the doctor, you've come up against many lifeguards, good and or innocent people. Now, have any of them ever appeared in any nightmares?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't think they have, actually, the monsters, certainly not. I've had awful nightmares about the Doctor. I haven't actually I think like you basically deal with your fear and things like that during the day when you're shooting. But the more psychological stuff is probably, you know, waking up in cold sweat in the middle of the night with like in your mind with David Tennant kind of telling you it's the end, it's the end. I think I've had more nightmares about them than anything else.
If you found it in your heart to reach out to a Dalek, would you give that angel a hug?
If I did what?
I said you found it in your heart to reach out to a Dalek.
Yeah.
Would you give an angel a hug?
Oh yeah, easy. You want to hug it out?
Everyone's saying no.
What was it like acting as the moment and not Rose?
Terrifying. But also great because it was nice to go back and do something different. That felt like a good responsibility and one that was necessary. It was good to change it up, you know. But it meant that I had to really use my brain and try and do something a bit off the wall. And you know, even though playing Rose is, you know, there are things that are very mad and unpredictable, you're basically playing a human. So that much you know and that you can feel confident about, because it's obviously all I know. But playing something like that is, you know, where do you even begin? But fortunately, I had like a masterclass of actors before me who really encouraged me, so it was great. Thank you.
One of my unfortunate parts as a moderator is to make sure we get out on time. So, I know. From that standpoint, I'm going to ask that we not add any more people to the line until we see how close we're getting to the line, end of the line, so we don't have disappointed people. I want to make sure everyone who's in line gets their question answered. So, let's just stop the line right there for the time being, okay?
Well done.
Yeah, look at that.
Hello, Billie. It's nice to see you. I have a friend who couldn't make it. His name is Josh, and I've been giving a playful hard time to him about not being able to come. And he is an absolutely huge Doctor Who fan. So what I've been doing is getting people like Kevin Sorbo to give him a hard time on video. Would you be willing to give him a hard time? His name is Josh Weiner.
Why is he... anyway, let's start rolling.
2, 1, it's going to be shaky because my hands are shaking.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine. Josh, what a disappointment. You say you're a Doctor Who fan, and you aren't here, so I'm totally convinced. What a letdown. What kind of fan are you? Seriously, you need to check yourself. Logistically couldn't make it. Tearing them apart.
Hi. I was wondering if at the beginning, did you have any idea that the show was going to amount to anything so really big? It's going to get like a dig into your fan base if you had any idea that was going to happen at the beginning at all?
No. No, I knew it had a fan base, a very strong fan base, but I wasn't, I didn't watch Doctor Who as a child, so I wasn't aware of the commitment behind the fans. I was just terrified that it was not going to be what everybody had hoped, you know, because, you know, when you start off doing something, especially if you're revitalising something or bringing something back, the initial reaction is, oh God, this is going to be awful, what a stupid decision to cast her, you know, this is like relentless negativity. So I was carrying that, really, as opposed to anything slightly more hopeful. But it was fine, it worked out really well. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Oh, we met yesterday. How are you doing?
I was wondering if there was any particular episode that was really fun to shoot.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday that I found there were 2 episodes I really enjoyed shooting a lot. I mean, for 3 really different reasons. I really enjoyed the Cassandra episode because that was just fun to play, you know, and also the effects, the kind of the things that we had to physically do were hilarious. You know, going down the lift shaft and being in the lift with all the water and the powder and the drying and stuff like that. It was just stupid, you know. So those reasons it was great. But I think I had the most fun really Tooth and Claw because I was always terrified of like werewolves when I was a kid. So to actually be pretending that, you know, that was happening and that I was running away from one, we just laughed so much. And also the werewolf, the guy who was eventually the werewolf was basically just this guy in a tight green lycra suit with a big kind of stick coming out of his head and a tennis ball on top of that. And it just, it's just hours and hours of fun, as you can imagine. So, but then I think on a more emotional level, I loved shooting Father's Day. Yeah. Thank you. Hey.
Hi, good morning.
12 hours on the coach, everyone. That's dedication. I do remember, I couldn't stop thinking about it.
So my question is, if you could star in any genre movie with any 3 actors or actresses, what genre would it be and what 3 people?
Oh my God, genre of movie. I think it would be indie. And who would I love to work with? I would love to work with an actress in the UK called Samantha Morton. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's insane. She's my favourite actress. Who else would I like to work with? I'd love to work with Matt on a movie, an indie movie, because he's such a brilliant actor and certainly in that realm as well, that field and stuff. And wouldn't it be cool to like work with a comedian who would Louis C.K.
That would be a good movie.
That would be a mad movie. But I mean, imagine working with him. How fun would that be? Unless he's really serious, as quite often comedians can be, actually,
Yes,
but
they
they're not.
can, and they're looking for something else
Yeah,
to
I know.
counterbalance their comedy sometimes.
I know.
Thank
What about
you.
yours? Exactly. What about my husband?
Thank you, Billie.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a really big fan, and can I just say, what everybody's thinking here, you look completely gorgeous today.
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you. But my question is, I know you said no favorites, but like, what is your favorite restaurant in the UK?
Oh, favorite restaurant. Oh, I didn't mind that. Favorite restaurant in the UK. We have these restaurants in the UK. They're quite chic-y. They're called, there's 2. There's one called the Wolseley, and there's one called the Delaunay, and they're kind of, they're where you go for your birthday, you know? Actually, I have 2, 3. This is why I can't be favorites. So the Delaunay and the Wolseley are sister restaurants, so if you ever go there, save a lot of money, and you get, like, it's proper, you know, it's very English. You get lots of silver and silver cutlery. That makes me sound like such an arse, but it's very special. It's lovely, and the food is delicious, and the service is insane, and you just feel like a proper lady or a proper gent, you know. It's like the Downton experience. And then there's this place near me called the Chicken Shop, and that's a totally different thing. That's just chicken, rice, or chips. We call them chips, you call them fries.
Yeah.
And wine. Thank you. Everyone at home knows how much I love the Chicken Shop.
There you go. What you
They
need to do,
laugh.
what you should do is get casted down.
Down. Yeah. I mean, that's a lifetime of courses. So. And yeah. Oh, thanks. I don't know if I've got the patience.
Hello, Billie. First of all, big fan.
Hi. Thank you.
And what was the hardest scene you've ever had to shoot throughout all of Doctor Who?
Well, emotionally, I suppose the last one with David and I on the beach, I think that was a really hard, but necessarily hard, you know, because that just felt very much like the end of everything. And then I mean, sorry guys, I can't remember like the names of all of them like you can, because it just comes and it goes sometimes. But one of the double Cybermen episode. Yes, there we go. Yeah, when I'm wearing the waitress outfit. I mean, I remember them by my costume. The costume, yeah. That was really hard because it was the coldest I've ever been, in the middle of Wales, in snow, and on a hill, and in that tiny dress, and my jaw locked because I was so cold, and they were still like, act. And I lost my love for it that day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So whenever I watch Doctor Who, I'm always really impressed by just how much you stay in character throughout the whole episode. So my question is, about how long did it take you to get into character when you began Doctor Who, and did that time change by the time you were doing your last season? And how did you get into character? Through music, or rewatching old episodes, or reading books, or what?
I had a very strong idea of who and what I wanted to do with Rose straight away. And I think that's when it works in a way. When you have that instinct, that's probably when you get the role, you know, when you know exactly what it is you want to do, instead of going, well, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in jeans, wearing boots, and hanging out with my sisters, and thinking a lot about being a teenager, basically. And that is how I got into it. Music is always a big part of, you know, getting into something, I find. Usually you'll find a song that just totally gets you there. And then, because you're playing it every day for 9 months, not 7, 9, it's just there, you know, you just turn up with it and go.
Thank you so
very much.
First of all, I like to say my TARDIS is pretty cool.
It's awesome. It is cool.
And secondly, I would like to ask, when you found out Rose was going to go, how did you imagine she was going to go?
Well, I had enormous faith that Russell would do something really mega, you know, and that it wouldn't be a small send-off. But actually, it was a subtle thing, I think, because it was just about those two standing before each other and saying goodbye, you know, and you know, so I was so happy, and we were so like, yeah, exactly, Muppets all over that. He would have, yeah, he would have just been crazy like that. But there was something so very sensitive about it, and I was really, we were both like, what's going to going to be came in. We were filming Tooth and Claw as the script came in. I remember because we were outside the castle, and we were just like this in our trailers, you know. And it was, and then we both hit us and went, oh, you need it. Have you finished it yet? So I was delighted, really, and excited to go there, you know, with him.
All right.
Thank you. Right.
What's happening?
Start off with my question with the question. Are you my mommy? What was it like working with Christopher Eccleston?
What was it like working with Christopher Eccleston? Great, and because I really admired him as an actor before I knew I was going to work with him. The fact he was playing that was a massive part of the attraction to the role, actually, because he has a history of playing really hard, intense roles. So I was really excited to work with him, and he didn't disappoint.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
What was your initial reaction when you found out you were going to be a Doctor Who?
I think I celebrated with a brownie. No, I celebrated with I took my nan, my grandmother, to a hotel, and we got high tea and ate loads of cake, brownies and eclairs. And I was just beside myself, you know, learning lines like the minute I heard. It was an amazing feeling. Planning everything I was going to take to film my flat in Wales. And yeah, I was so thrilled. Thank you.
First of all, thank you. That was my son, and he's probably gonna freak out for like a year. And I want to ask a favorite question because screw the rules. Great. Now, yes. What is your absolute favorite fandom outside of Doctor Who? Like the best.
Favorite fandom?
Yeah, like Buffy.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Okay. What did I really? You know, I personally was a massive fan of the Goonies. And the Lost Boys. I don't know. Oh, really? But those were the films that I watched as a child over and over and over again. Lost Boys, I'm amazed I was allowed to watch that. As an 8-year-old. I was very mature. I could handle the fear. But I think, yeah, I mean, those are my areas, certainly.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry, and Buffy.
Hi. So my question is, we obviously found out that none of the villains have luckily plagued your nightmares, but I was wondering if any of them were actually real, which one would you be most terrified of?
Not the Daleks. Never got that. Not the Cybermen. The Oobs were called. It was so strange to look at. I always get more scared of things that could actually be real, like werewolves. Obviously. So I'm just trying to rack my brains and things that That is actually, you're right. Because that was so eerie to film anyway. So I think you're right, that was really, that would be horrible. No offense. I'm going with that. Thank you.
Hi, happy Easter.
Hi.
I'm a huge, aside from a huge Doctor Who fan, I'm also a huge James Bond fan. So how was it like working with Timothy Dalton and Sam Mendes and John Logan and Peter Green?
Gosh, yeah, they're all in there, aren't they? John Logan, I'll start with him because he's the one I know the best of them all, is amazing, obviously, incredibly smart, has the energy of, I don't know where that boundless energy comes from, but it is consistent, and he knows what he wants, and it's good to be around, you know. Ava is really lovely. Unfortunately, we haven't really done anything together that much. Tim is hilarious. Tim's stories are, everything about Tim is funny, whether he needs to be or not. Tim comes to set when he doesn't need to be there. And kind of wills you on and noses around, sees what everyone's doing, has a small complaint about something to do with his character. He's very, very serious as well. And Sam, I haven't met as often as the others, so but he seems like a lovely fellow. So basically, it's been that company is a gift as well. You know, it's the next thing really. It feels like the next kind of it's like the beginnings of something that might potentially be long lasting, like Doctor Who.
I hope so.
I really
Great
hope
to meet you this
so.
week.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Happy Easter. Yay.
What was your favorite David Tennant episode?
Oh my god, this is the favorite thing again. I really liked the stuff with David and the Master. Because that was amazing. That was really smart, really sad, and genuinely terrifying and moving. And the two of those guys acting together was brilliant. Yeah, John Sim is amazing. Thank you. It's okay.
I want to record it. It's for epicness to show people that I was here.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You should always have someone recording behind you so they can see your...
Okay, my question is, I know you want to be in a play in New York, but what play would you want to do, and what actor would you want to work with most?
It would be really good to do a new play, just because it's great to find something fresh, I guess, and also, you know, it might mean that you could do it off Broadway and be slightly more experimental. I don't really know how it works like that, but that's my thinking. And then it would be, you know, Adam Driver. Is it Adam Driver who's in Girl? I think he's a big theatre actor out there, and he's amazing. I think he's such a fine actor. It'd be so lovely to work with him. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Moving right along.
Hi.
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 It was my friend Megan's birthday today, and I was wondering if you could wish her happy birthday.
Megan.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Megan. Is she here?
No, she can't. She's not here right now.
Okay, well, there'll be evidence that I said it. It's a lot of birthdays this time of year.
Well, yeah.
It was one of those times 9 months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say.
Stand up. Okay, first of all, my cousin Elizabeth, she's a big fan of yours, and unfortunately she could not be here today. So I was wondering if